Thank you for the purchase of your new Hilleberg tent. This film is a supplement to the instruction booklet. We recommend that you both read the booklet carefully as well as practice handling the tent before your first backcountry trip. The Staika is a very strong tent when used correctly, but it does require proper care and handling in order to function optimally. While pitching the tent, make it a habit to work in a kneeling position and to always put away loose bags so they don't blow away. It's also important to secure the tent against the wind to your backpack or elsewhere with one of the guy lines. We have chosen the best poles on the market for our tents, but it is a lightweight product that requires proper handling. Otherwise, the poles may break and can, in the worst case scenario, lead to a dangerous situation. Place the ground pegs in your pocket as they need to be close at hand while pitching the tent. If the weather turns foul, it's beneficial to have learned the setup routines. Lay the tent on the ground and secure the 6 corners with ground pegs. Press the ground pegs down at a 45-degree angle until only the top of the peg remains visible. Otherwise, the peg risks being pulled out with the onset of heavy wind. If you can't get them in on the ground by hand, then push or hammer them down with a stone, but do not step on them. If pitching the tent in snow or in sand, Hilleberg's longer and wider snow and sand pegs can replace the 12 pegs that accompanied your Staika. The site selected should be as level as possible and free from any objects that might damage your tent. For maximum longevity and durability of your tent poles, it's important that you're careful with them and that you put together one section at a time. Make sure that the segments are properly seated and that they don't drift apart while pitching the tent. A small gap can lead to pole breakage. Never throw the poles out of the bag. They can be damaged and scratches can later lead to cracks in the poles. The 3 poles included with your Staika are all of the same length. Insert them into the short pole sleeves and ensure that they're fully seated. The pole sleeves are color-coded to make it easy to get each pole into its correct corresponding sleeve. The pole sleeves are designed so you can use 2 poles. This increases the stability and strength of the tent in extreme weather conditions. Now attach the clips to the poles. If you're using double poles, attach them to every other clip. Be sure not to step on the tent as sharp objects underneath the tent can damage the fabric. Instead, open the entrance and stand in the vestibule if you have difficulty reaching the upper clips. In windy weather, it's a good idea to walk around the tent while you attach the clips so that the tent walls are raised to the same height. The vent cover is easily attached using 2 hooks. In beautiful weather, you can remove the hooks and fold up the vent cover for maximum ventilation, but do not release the other 2 attachment points. Securely tighten the vent cover by pulling the strap at the attachment points. Make sure the guy lines are fully extended and that you press the ground pegs down solidly into the ground. Place the guy lines so that the tent is optimally stabilized against wind from all possible directions. Finally, tighten the guy lines, but do not tighten them to the point of deforming the tent. The Staika is a completely freestanding tent, but if possible, do get into the habit of securing all guy lines as weather conditions can quickly change. The door flaps on the outer tent can be rolled up completely and attached to the pole with a clip. During nice weather, this is a great way to maximize ventilation. Make sure the door panels do not drag on the ground, as dirt and sand will shorten the lifetime of the zipper. Every side of the inner tent has a zip-open hatch leading to an opening covered with a no-seam mesh. For maximum ventilation, the hatches are open completely and fastened with elastic and a toggle. If you have the opportunity, it's a good idea to sweep and dry out the tent before taking it down. In order to take down the tent, repeat every step of the tent assembly process, but in reverse. Detach the clips from the poles, and in windy weather do go around the tent and loosen the clips from upwards to downwards so that all the tent walls have approximately the same height. And make sure that the tent is always fastened to your backpack or a similar anchor. Ensure that all the guy lines are fully extended in order to facilitate the next occasion you set up your tent. If you do not immediately place the poles in their bag, then they should be placed somewhere where no one will step on them. Check and clean any soiled ground pegs so that they're in good shape for the next time you use them. As you remove and fold up the poles, check if any of them have been damaged. Then put them, along with the ground peg bag, into the pole bag. Since the fabric of the outer tent is waterproof but not breathable, condensation can form on the inside of the outer tent. The use of an extra footprint, which is sold as an accessory, provides protection against ground moisture. Fold the tent and roll it up together with the pole bag in the middle and put it into the tent bag. Alternatively, you can store the ground peg bag and pole bag separately. If you want, you can stuff the tent down into the tent bag instead of folding it, but then you should pack the poles and pegs separately. Never store a wet tent for a long time. Hang it up to dry as soon as you can, preferably with the poles in place so that the fabrics are kept apart. In humid conditions, you can remove the inner tent before the outer tent is disassembled and store it separately in your backpack. Next time you pitch the tent, first set up the outer tent and then attach the dry inner tent. We do welcome you to visit Hilleberg.com, where you can see our entire collection and learn more about your tent. You can also find out more about Hilleberg the Tent Maker, including our history, philosophy, and how we make our tents. Find out about expeditions that use Hilleberg tents and locate a dealer near you. You will also find information, equipment lists, and practical advice that can help you in planning your next backcountry trip.